Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Chakras and Cuss Words channel. And if you are here, you are probably here for the tarot reading for the month of February. And for those who don't know me, I am Catherine. I am the podcast host of Chakras and Cuss Words podcast, a spiritual intuitive guide that helps people find modalities to increase their spiritual wellness and everyday well-being. So let me show you guys which deck I will be using for this fun tarot read. So for the tarot cards, we will be using the Light Seers tarot deck. And for our intention card, we will be using the Moonology deck. And this is for the month of February. And can we just talk about what a high energy month February is? And we will be doing a reading for all the Zodiac elements. And always, we will start in the format of 3 cards and 1 intention card. Okay, so let's start with our normal rotation, and we are going to start with the fire signs, and then we will go on to the water signs, earth signs, and then the air signs. So let's go ahead and start with the fire signs. And the first card that we have for the fire signs is the rebirth / death card. Second card we have is the world. And the third card we have is 5 of cups. And as you can see, we have a chakra inspired healing with the selenite board right there, or selenite slab, I guess you would say. So this is a perfect time for the fire signs to really step into their transition. As you can see, we have the introductory of the death card and the rebirth card. And when we are looking at this card in an area, we might be seeing it as a full transition. Right now, we also have the world card, really letting us know that the world is in our steps. It's in our area of worth, and it's in our perspective. We have the 5 of cups, which often sometimes seems like a card that isn't centered around a full purpose. Maybe we're having some doubts. Maybe we're having some areas we're not really sure where to move forward. We're not really sure where to bring that clarity in. And what I would like to acknowledge with the fire signs is, as we are on this journey and we have a massive transition, as we could see, we possibly could be stepping out of a relationship, stepping out of a career, stepping out of a pattern that we didn't agree with, or maybe a pattern of our own traits that we had to give up. And sometimes that is the hardest part, is saying goodbye to our old sense of what our self is. And when we let go of this, you can see right here, the world is open to us. The universe hears us. It has us in its best interest. And we often go back to this shadow, go back to the uncertainty, go back to the unclarity, and why we feel so destined to not really know everything. And it's true, we are destined to not know everything, and that's okay to be in an element where we don't know what our next move is. We don't know where our area is. And for our intention card for the fire signs, I am going to pull out of the Moonology deck, and we have don't let your past hold you back. Ooh. And this is such a fiery month, really high energy month here in Aquarius season with February. And the reason why, we'll get into it in a moment, but I want to show that this is making me feel that some of the fire signs are going through a massive transition, a massive area of shadow, a massive area where they are transitioning, and a lot of reflection is needed right here. This, a lot of people see the death in reverse and automatically think, oh my goodness, it must be something very deep. And it is something very deep. It's finding the area that you're going to let go of, finding the area that you need to transition from. And as a fire sign, don't be scared. Don't be scared to walk into your new world. Don't be scared to walk towards your new path. It's there for you. It's there to guide you. And don't let your past hold you back as the South Node. And this is kind of interesting because right now the South Node did have a transition. I think it was last week in January. The South Node is now in Taurus, which is an earth sign. So very grounded right there. And the South Node really controls the right now area. What's happening right now? What's working for you right now? So as the fire signs, don't let your past hold you back. You're gonna have to do some shadow work to be whole in this center right here of knowing your capability, knowing your full distance, knowing your full area of purpose. This new moon in Aquarius is a perfect time to set your intentions towards the long purpose. So that is for the fire signs. And let's just talk about this month. And let's talk about this month in February and all that it's bringing, all it has forward with us. So let's kind of do a little deep dive into some of the astrology and numerology that is hitting Aquarius season for the month of February. I can't talk right now. So we have just automatic first day of February. We have the new moon. We have the new moon in Aquarius. High energy. That is functioned and united with Saturn and also Uranus. The Aquarius is also seen as that area of the unknown, the unique sign, the sign that's kind of moving into multiple areas, the humanitarian. Also, the Aquarius is also seen as somebody who can distance themselves and can also detach in some areas and walk away very, very easy. They do have very strong boundaries. Most Aquariuses are able to establish those strong boundaries, but sometimes they get caught up in their little self-doubt and get caught up in holding their self where they don't get hurt. So that is something that the Aquarius does do. And then also after that, we have I guess you could say okay, I always have a hard time saying this, the 22 portal. And that is February 2nd, of course. And then what that is a high energy date for trusting your intuition, trusting your process, trusting your third eye. It is a portal for you to really step into that vortex of your self-trust, step into that vortex of what can I do to increase my manifestations, what can I do to increase my intentions. And it's like boom, boom, boom. Then then in Pluto, then we have the Pluto return on February 22nd. So it is a very high energy month in February. And then of course there's other astrological events. And it's kind of a coincidence that the return of Pluto is also happening on another portal date, numerology date of intentions. And for those who don't know, Pluto is kind of seen as the king of the underworld, the king of the shadow, the leader of the underworld, the leader of transformation, the leader of growth in that area of shadow. So it kind of brings it back full forward, because then we have another transition date of intuition and intuitive processes of 22. Also in February, which is a date for the lovebirds, we have February 16th, the Venus and Mars conjunction. So a lot of high energy astrological events happening in February. and also a lot of high energy just all the way around with the numerology and the intuitive processes. So we have, for the water signs, we have King of Wands in reverse, 10 of Cups in the middle, and then we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. So what this is showing me for the water signs is right here, we're still having some limiting self-beliefs on our leadership skills. We're still having some limiting self-beliefs on what we can really accomplish right here, as we have the King of Wands right there. And as you see, he is in reverse, and he's but let's see how he looks upright, because this is what we want to be focused on. He's very grounded. He has a lot of courage, very much a magician in his own right, a magician in his own leadership, but he's much more than a magician. He is actually a leader. He's known to bring villages and tribes and communities to their purpose. And right as we have it in reverse, it's making me think that we're having a hard time holding that sacred to us. And then we have the 10 of Cups in the middle, upright position. And what this is showing me right here is we have a lot of family values. We have a lot of community values. We have a lot of area that is full forward. We have a lot of area that we need to work on with our inner child. Big decisions are happening right now for the water signs. Big decisions where we're moving forward in our community, our overall chakra energy. As you can see, it's really speaking to us in this photo. It's really speaking us with the 10 of Cups. And when we think of the chakras, and I'm going to tell you guys this, as a chakra intuitive, as a chakra coach, as a chakra energy teacher, as a chakra educator, our chakras are never going to be perfect. They're never going to be fully aligned. While we can try to have them aligned and balanced as much as possible, we're always going to have areas where we dip back into excessive, or we dip back into maybe a depletion or a block. That's normal. That's normal. That's a normal process. But what I see right here is that we are the creator of our own manifestations, just like we were thinking how we were in our childlike state, in our pure state, in our divine state. Let that inner child out. Let that inner child out to play. Please do some connection with family, with friends, with people who are surrounding you, with people who are giving you energy to work forward. And then here we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. And what the 7 of Swords in reverse is making me see is that with all our trials and tribulations, that even though we don't necessarily know what the next step is, we don't know what the next process is, we know that we are independent. We're on this voyage and we're strong. And as long as we stay strong in our area and stay strong in our growth, our light will continue to shine on us. It will really bring us back to where we need to be. But we have to find our center. We have to work in our divine state. We have to move forward in an area that feels pure to us, to an area that resembles what makes us happy, resembles our family unit, our family community. That's the energy that I'm really seeing for the water signs. And a lot of this, I think, has to do with this card right here. These two cards are showing me that a lot of this has to do with that we're scared to step into our leadership role. We want to center back as being the solo molo, the one who's always riding on the solo. But some of us are built to be leaders, and we just don't want to step into that because of our misbeliefs that we have placed on ourselves. But a lot of times what we do know is that it's meant for us. We just have to own it. And that is what I'm seeing for the water signs. And for our intention card for the water signs, we have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. look at this card. Look at that. Look at that upright position, that tall position of the Taurus. The prosperity lies ahead when we step into our new transition and our new role and our new area of growth. Let it hold value where value is due, and hold that dear to you, because you are here to create. You are here to manifest. You are here to lead. Some of us are leaders, and you are here to lead and own that role. And that is for the water signs for the month of February. And let's just say this month of February has so many fun dates. I am so excited about it. I know I have been blogging for the Chakras and Cuss Words website. I have also been doing some guided meditations and also some just sound therapy meditations, which I will be putting on the Chakras and Cuss Words channel solely on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to release it as the podcast continues to grow on more of a conversational area. With the guided meditations, if they are on the podcast, they are going to be more around 15 minutes at most. They're not going to be a full 30 minutes or a full meditation like that. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I am going to do the guided meditations on YouTube. I really like the sound aspect of just having that quiet time. I still have to mess around a little bit more with the meditations for the YouTube channel. And if I'm going to put more of a guided work behind it, we will see, possibly, because I think the guided does help, especially one popper card, especially as we are having it towards a quote-unquote intention that is focused around a date or focused around a chakra or an element or something that is more destined. It does help to have the guided. I will be releasing the third eye chakra meditation. At first I thought I was going to make it guided. Then I decided just to have the sound healing, because it is very energetic kind of, and that's what I want people to understand is meditation isn't always sitting still in an area that you aren't moving. Sometimes with meditation, we have movements, we have tapping, we have dancing, we have, well, you're like dancing, we have movements of the body, especially in high energy meditations where we are trying to accomplish an intention, where we are trying to let the subconscious mind rule over the conscious mind, and we get into that high, deep, meditative state. It's almost like a hypnosis state. It's almost like a state where you see the portal, where you see the vortex, where you see the area that you're moving forward, and you're like, how does this happen? How did I get so high up in this energy? How did it move forward? How did I keep it going? And you did, because that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to see stuff that you aren't allowed to visualize. Isn't that a crazy concept? To see what we're not allowed to visualize. So here we go for the earth signs. Okay, this is a pretty good combination right here. We do have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it's letting me know we aren't fully tapped into that intuition. We aren't fully tapped into that thought process. Our crown chakra is a little bit dim because we're in reverse, but we have so much potential. Look at this card. Look at that. So much potential. So much potential to see the light, to see the energy, to see the source of what we hold true to ourselves, what we see as our passion. As you can see, she kind of has like that, almost looks like a tear or a shadow located on the right side. And it's sometimes we're stuck on that right side of the brain. We're stuck on that area where we're just in that go. We're stuck on the hamster wheel. We're stuck in that area that kind of makes us cry, makes us sad. We need to tune into what is making us happy, what is making us forward, what is making us bring light. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And what the Seven of Pentacles really shows me is we are our own growers, we are our own manifestors, we are our own intention setters. We have our own area to grow because we're the ones who control our roots. We are the ones who feed our plants. We are the ones who put energy towards what we want to grow. Where we plan to put our energy is what will grow. If we have a new journey, if we have a new path and we're putting a lot of our path towards that, if we're putting a lot of that energy towards that, that's where our path will grow. That's where the plants of our path will flourish. That's the energy that's going to move forward. And when we get this cycle of trusting our intuition, trusting our possibility, and putting our energy centered where we want it to grow, right here for the earth signs with the Seven of Pentacles, you can't deny it. And that's why we have the Knight of Wands. True inspiration of celebration, of passion, celebration of our creativity, celebration of what we've accomplished. If we are in that leader realm, we own it. If we are in that creative area, we own it. If we are in that passion area, we own it. If we are in that area where we're giving value to others, we own it. And that's what the Knight of Wands really stands for, is owning what we create, owning what we celebrate. Joyful, joyful time, owning our accomplishments and taking pride in it. And that's really what it has it centered towards these earth signs. And I'm going to go ahead and pull an intention card for the month of February for these beautiful earth signs and let them see what is the next step for setting these intentions, and where should they put these intentions forward. And this is one of my favorite decks, honestly. This Moonology deck, I would say, was probably one of the first decks I ever bought. And it's a very great deck because if you are attempting to get more astrology focused, if you are attempting to learn about astrology, it is an easy and soft way to take it with you. It's an easy and approachable way to learn. And that's what many of us are. We are not only giving education and giving resources and giving areas to work forward, but we're also growing and learning and gaining knowledge as we move. And for the earth signs, we have work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. And doesn't that really just go perfect together? Showing me right here what that really means. We have to work through our fears so we can accomplish this, so we can accomplish our Seven of Pentacles and our Knight of Wands. We have to work through what fears us. And a lot of times it's change. A lot of us are scared to change. We're scared of a new ritual. We're scared of a new routine. We're scared of a new thought process. We're scared of the new. But we have to work through our fears because they do not serve us. And we have to continue our path. And that is for the water signs. And for the podcasting world on chakras and cuss words, we have many amazing podcasts coming out for the month of February. I have the Manifesting is More Than Just a Dream Board, and that one released on Monday. And then I believe the next podcast after that is a tribute to the beautiful divine creatures and animals of the universe. and that is manifesting and setting intentions with spirit animals. And that podcast comes out February 7th. And the reason why it comes out February 7th and I didn't do the 2-week transition is because that podcast is my birthday podcast. I'm releasing it on my birthday. It is a podcast that is something that is very sacred to me, because I do feel that spirit with animals and spirit with creatures, insects, all that. I did touch on it, and I made sure to use a lot of the animals or creatures that a lot of people see as dark and shadowy. And the reason why I did is because I wanted to give enlightenment to where we are in society, where we are in a culture where we have to stop seeing things as always a dark element, as a perspective of good or bad or evil and pure, of light and dark. There's a lot of meaning in the shadow, and there's a lot of meaning in the area of what isn't necessarily what we're taught to believe. So that's why I did pick using some of the area animals that people don't like to acknowledge. We have the snake, or as some would say, the serpent in there. We also have the what else? The bat. I think I even talked about the bat. The spider. Definitely not a. Let me do a quick shuffle again because I'm starting to pick some of the same cards. Not a podcast for people who are only on that white light energy is all I have to say about that. And I will tell you the reason why it's not so focused in white light positive energy is because I want people to understand that spiritual people aren't necessarily like these happy high energy beings. We have our moments of shadow. We have our moments of insecurities. We have our moments of not feeling aligned. We have our moments of transition, just like everybody else. While we are healers, healers need healers too. As we are guides, guides need guides too. And that is one of the most honest tributes that I can say as a healer, as a guide, that I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have mentors, if I didn't have healers, if I didn't have guides leading me to step into my full passion, into what made me feel the most worthy, what made me feel the most aligned with my energy. And next we have the air signs. Okay. This is a interesting read right here. And the reason why I said interesting is you could already tell. The Nine of Swords in reverse. And we're going to talk about it. And then we have Seven of Pentacles in reverse. What we have right here is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Maybe it could be a little tribute to the Mars and Venus conjunction. Maybe Valentine's Day playing on in February. Okay. Definitely the Knight of Cups. I see it as a romantic interest, a romantic possibility. Also a lot of area of where there's a lot of decisions. I do see some strong energy of almost taking a leap of faith, of having that area where you want to be grounded, but then you also want to run away in the wind and throw everything away and just say, I'm moving to like, I don't know, Bali or somewhere. You know, you are on this new voyage of pure romantic insight. And then I see where we have our Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And what's this kind of showing me is we're still having some doubts. And I almost feel like this energy right now is directed a little bit towards money. And with the two together, where we have the romance and we almost have like the money aspect, it's telling me the heart chakra needs a little bit more love. It needs a little bit more tenderness. It needs a little bit more trust. And it's probably coming from within. It's not coming from the surrounding areas, as many of us focus on with the heart chakra. We think that it's because, you know, people maybe took advantage of us, or people maybe didn't have as much truthfulness behind their stories, or they didn't really see us as we saw ourselves. And what this is showing me right here is we have this area where we want to just, you know, do a Haagen-Dazs days of ice cream in the bed and just cry our area, just cry. So I do know that this could be related to a heartbreak, is what I'm saying right here. And maybe we're already centered in that area. Maybe we're already centered in that grief process where we had a relationship that we thought was that whimsical trip in Bali, turning out to be not what we thought it was. And when we are in that area of grief and that area of learning to pick ourselves up, as we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And I'm going to put the Nine of Swords in the upright position so you can really see the true meaning and value of the grief process. And the Nine of Swords is a very sad card in some areas, because we have a transition from heartbreak. But usually when this happens, it makes me think that while this transition is very deep and it's very hurtful, and we sometimes have betrayal, we also have the ability to stand ourselves up. We also have the ability to move to another light. We also have that ability to create something new. And as you see, she's almost centered with a headboard. And what I really take with this is not necessarily the headboard or the sleep or the dreams, but it's not giving a circumstance, life, to take away from our dreams, to take away from our journey. We will continue to see light, but right now the shadow is there. It could also be because there's so much high energy of grief right now. We still are in Mercury retrograde, while Venus is now is not in conjunction, but is now in its oh gosh, I just had a complete brain freeze, is now in its normal rotation. It is now at its normal state. Venus is direct. It's not retrograde anymore. So a lot of times with big energy shifts is when we see energy shifts in relationships too. And when we have high intensity energy shifts sometimes in the seasons, have you ever noticed in the seasons, a lot of energies as the season transitions? Sometimes you'll see some relationship dilemmas. A lot of this is making me think that it is a love story that may have gone bad, a love story that may have ended. And when we are in this center, please be kind. Please be kind to yourself, because sometimes there's nothing we could have done different. Sometimes there's nothing that we could have changed. Sometimes there's nothing that could have made the scenario different. People sometimes move at a different rate for a different purpose than us for a reason. A lot of us might just be feeling a little stuck right now and a little centered in that griefness. But remember to have that kind heart with yourself and to really trust yourself and realize that you can trust others because you can trust yourself. And that is sometimes the hardest area, is when we are set on a lot of mistrust It's usually because we have a hard time trusting ourselves. We have a hard time trusting ourselves to love ourselves. We have a hard time trusting ourselves to trust ourselves with money. We have a hard time trusting ourselves with certain areas, and it kind of falls over into the relationship. It kind of falls over into that path. So have that being that you can trust yourself, have that being that you can trust your energy, and for your intentions, perfect card for this read. Take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Oh, the power of breath. The power of breath. To breathe in and out, and especially with this new moon in Aquarius, with this air sign, being an air sign, breath work is an absolute for the air signs. Grounding is an absolute for the air signs. It's an area where we are able to breathe in our intentions and breathe out what we no longer hold sacred. And with that, let's take a big deep breath in and let it out. So for the air signs, breathe it in, honey. Breathe it out. So I just want to thank everybody for coming on and watching the Chakras and Cuss Words channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And everybody, have an amazing month of February. And don't forget to check out Chakras and Cuss Words podcast. Bye.